The perfect OnlyFans funnel. Most agencies focus on one of two things: marketing or chatting. While that's important, and naturally revenue will go up if you've got marketing and chatting right, there's often one thing that's overlooked, and that's the sales funnel. By improving conversions just from as little as 3 to 5%, you can increase your agency revenue by hundreds of thousands every single year. Why the funnel matters. Here's a simple example. If your creator is bringing in 1,000 subscribers a month and you have an LTV of around $50, that creator will be generating around $50,000 a month. Now, if you improve your conversions by simply just 5%, which will take you no longer than sort of 10 or 15 minutes to get right, you can improve that creator's revenue by over $2,500 every single month. You do that across 10 creators, that's $25,000 every single month that you're increasing your agency revenue by from such a simple change. So what actually is a sales funnel? Simply, a sales funnel is what happens between the social media platforms and the OnlyFans. This is usually presented in something like a link in bio. You see them all the time on Instagram, Reddit, YouTube, typically presented as something like a link tree or a link me. This is dependent on how your creator converts from her social media to her OnlyFans profile. Optimizing the funnel. This comes down to one of three things: consistency, brand alignment, and simplicity. Firstly, consistency. You want to make sure everything is consistent from the social media platform all the way through to the OnlyFans profile. For example, if your creator is from Australia and you're presenting that on your social media, you do not want to then present she's from London on the OnlyFans profile. This is going to create confusion and ultimately decrease your conversions. Onto brand alignment. What does this mean? So if you've got a goth creator, for example, that you're promoting on social media, and then the creator has that in his mind that that's what he's going to see when he clicks onto the OnlyFans profile, you want to emphasize that as soon as they reach the profile. You want to make it clear that that's what the type of creator she is. That's the niche in which she fits into to improve your conversions. If you're presenting this goth creator on social media and you're doing a really good job at branding her there, you need to ensure that the same represents on your OnlyFans profile, because if they don't get that same vibe, this is going to decrease conversions and ultimately harm your revenue. Finally, simplicity. You want to make sure that everything is simple. You don't want there to be 5 other links on her link tree, or when they get over to the OnlyFans, another load of social links potentially linking to her Twitter or her TikTok page. You want it to be simple for the fan to go from the promotional platform over to the OnlyFans platform, and that will help increase your conversions. Link provider. Now, this is often always overlooked by both agencies and creators. Now, there's 2 key components when it comes down to using the right link provider where this can harm your conversions. That's firstly the fan's trust, but secondly the platform's trust in you as a user. Now, if you take a potential fan and they've seen Link Me on hundreds of other creators' profiles and potentially use Link Me to subscribe to other OnlyFans creators, they're going to trust that link. So you also using Link Me is going to increase your conversions as a content creator. Secondly to that, if you take a social media platform like Instagram and use the wrong link in your bio, you're also going to harm your conversions because they will restrict your account. They will stop pushing you out to certain viewers because you're using links that go against their terms and conditions. Custom landing pages. A lot of agencies speak to us about using custom landing pages, promoting different creators' links on these pages to ultimately drive traffic to other social media pages. While they can look great and you can be as creative as you want in terms of what you put on that page, we have seen most success in keeping things simple, driving traffic simply from social media platform straight over to their OnlyFans. As soon as you start to add in creativity, add in other social links, no matter how you do this, you're always going to damage conversions. At the end of the day, we want to drive people from said social media platform over to OnlyFans, and that's as simple as it goes. Instagram and deep links. A quick side note, back end of last year, you could have a deep link, which was essentially a way in which when the fan clicked on the link in your bio, it would take you out into an external browser and it would put you straight on the creator's OnlyFans page. You cannot use these anymore. If you use these on Instagram, you'll be banned and your creator's account will be restricted and there is no way to get it unbanned. Do not use deep links on Instagram. Having said that, you can use these on other platforms. You can use these on platforms like Reddit, YouTube, and Twitter, for example. The OnlyFans landing page. Once you've got the fan onto the OnlyFans page, you need to make sure these 5 key components are right. That's the profile picture, the banner, the call to action, the bio, and the pricing. You need to keep things clean and simple and consistent with what was promoted on social media. Different creators will require different setups. Ultimately, what works with a large porn creator will be very different to what works with an e-girl. For the porn creator, she might have her unseen highlights that go onto her OnlyFans. It might be much more of a subscription-based model where they increase the subscription price but ultimately get to see the content on the wall, opposed to an e-girl creator might be much more around the relationship and the fantasy of that creator themselves. Ultimately, it all leads down to the same thing, but how you do it is very different. Pricing and CTA. Pricing needs to align with the creator. Ultimately, what works for one creator won't necessarily work for another creator, even if they're in the same niche. As an agency, we typically see the best models operate at about a $10 to $15 subscription price with around a 60 to 80% first month discount. Whilst this is the case for a majority of our creators, we still evaluate this to ultimately make sure that it aligns with them and has the maximum amount of conversions. So how do we actually go about implementing this? As an agency, we like to break this down into two key steps. You've got the first step, which is actually improving the reach to the OnlyFans profile. So the step in which fan goes from social media platform over to the OnlyFans profile. We will firstly work on that to actually increase the number of visitors that we're getting to the OnlyFans profile. After a couple of weeks of actually seeing an increased amount of visitors to the OnlyFans profile, we'll then focus on what we call stage 2, which is actually optimizing the profile to increase the amount of subscribers that actually convert to the page. We will split test different things such as the bio, the call to action, and the pricing. We will keep testing these results until we reach a point where we can't improve them anymore, or have improved the conversions between 5 to 10%. At that point, we will leave it as is. We will then go back into looking at this 6 to 8 weeks later. Final note, remember when scaling traffic to look at the funnel. Small changes in conversion can lead to a massive upside in revenue. Thank you guys for watching until the end of the video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for the video coming out next week. If you have any further questions about what we went over today, just drop me a message down in the description on my Telegram.